Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, today we will see a few topics remaining in the fourth unit. So the topics that we will complete today were axial compressor. We'll see the working of our axial compressor, then velocity diagram, degree of reaction, then we'll see the performance parameters that normally for the performance terminology, some parameters that are used to evaluate the performance of axial compressor. And in addition to axial compressor, we will also quickly go through the some other types of compressors like roots blower, vane compressor, and screw compressor. So these are the topics that we will be discussing today. So let us straight away move on to the first topic, which is on axial compressor. Axial compressors എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മൾ centrifugal compressors. So what was the type of what was the type? Which type it was axial centrifugal compressor? How do you classify compressors? We can classify compressors as dynamic compressors and positive displacement compressors. So we have seen earlier details on reciprocating compressor, which is classified as a positive displacement compressor. At the same time, in the last class we attempted the tutorial on centrifugal compressor, which is a dynamic type compressor. So axial compressor is also a dynamic type compressor. The difference between this axial compressor and the centrifugal compressor is that in centrifugal compressor the flow direction is radial, whereas in the axial compressor the air flows in the axial direction. It flows through the compressor in the axial direction. Axial direction is parallel to the shaft of the compressor. So the schematic diagram that represents an axial compressor layout is shown here. ഒരു axial compressor main components എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് it is having a rotating drum, and to this rotating drum rotor blades are fixed. Series of rotor blades are fixed. You can see the diagram where you have a rotating drum which has a cross section like this, and on to this rotating drum you can see the notation R used here. രണ്ട് notations ഇവിടെ യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് ബ്ലേഡ്സിന്. ഒന്ന് എസ് എന്ന നൊട്ടേഷനും ആറും. എസ് ഫോർ സ്റ്റാറ്റർ, ആർ ഫോർ റോട്ടർ. So the blades which are fixed, which are represented here with the letter R, they represent rotor blades. So they are fixed on this rotating drum, so that constitute the rotor. Then in addition to rotor blades, there are stator blades which are fixed on to the casing. അപ്പോൾ ഈ റോട്ടേറ്റിംഗ് ഡ്രമ്മിനെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റോട്ടറിനെ കവർ ചെയ്തിട്ട് കേസിംഗ് ഉണ്ട്. ആൻഡ് ദിസ് കേസിംഗ് you can see the inner wall of the casing. We have this stator blades fixed, right? So we have a combination of stator rotor like this. ഇവിടെ ഒരു സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ്, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് റോട്ടർ ബ്ലേഡ്. ഈ സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന കേസിംഗിലാണ് സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ് ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. We can say this is the first stator blade. We call it as inlet guide wave. ഇതിന്റെ ആദ്യത്തെ സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇൻലെറ്റ് ഗൈഡ് വെയിൻ. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് ദി ഇൻലെറ്റ് ഓഫ് ദി കംപ്രസർ. സോ ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ് ഫോംസ് ദി ഇൻലെറ്റ് ഗൈഡ് വെയിൻ. The purpose of stator blade is, stator blade the purpose എന്താണ്? It directs the incoming air to the rotor blades. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിന്റെ പർപ്പസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഈ വരുന്ന എയറിനെ it directs it to flow over the rotor blades. And this rotor blade എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു മൂവിംഗ് ബ്ലേഡ് ആണ്. Stator blade is a stationary blade. So the stator blades are fixed onto the AC, whereas the rotor blades are fixed onto the rotating drum. And you have a combination of stator rotor. അതാണ് SR എന്നിവിടെ കാണിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. That means a combination, a series of stages are there. ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ് ഒരു റോട്ടർ ബ്ലേഡിന്റെ കോമ്പിനേഷനെ we call as a stage. So a combination of stator blade, a rotor blade is called a stage. So you can say that it is a series of stages. Series of stages എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ SR ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ്, second stage, second stator blade, rotor blade, third stage, third stator and third rotor blade. Like that, you have a series of stator rotor arrangements here, and each stage consists of a stator and rotor blade. So we can say that these axial compressors are mostly multi-stage compressors. So നമ്മൾ axial compressors, centrifugal compressor പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ മൾട്ടി സ്റ്റേജിങ് അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. പക്ഷേ ആക്സിയൽ സ്റ്റേജ് കംപ്രസർ നമ്മൾ പറയുമ്പോൾ we can say that it is a multi-stage type. Multi-stage type എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇവിടെ മൾട്ടി സ്റ്റേജിംഗ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് ഒരു സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ് റോട്ടർ ബ്ലേഡ് ഒരു കോമ്പിനേഷൻ ആണ് നമ്മൾ ഒരു അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കുറെ സ്റ്റേജസിന്റെ സീരീസ് ആണ്. സീരീസ് ഓഫ് rotor stator blades are fixed on the rotor drum, rotating drum and the casing. Okay, so this is the construction. This is the way the axial compressors, rotor and stator blades are fixed, and the direction of flow is shown here. You can see the direction of flow is parallel to. So this is the incoming air inlet section, and it enter it and it flows through. You can see very small gap between the stator blade and the rotating drum. So it enter the rotor blades through this small gap between the rotating drum and the rotor. And another thing that you can notice from here is that the area cross section, that you can see this area here, near the inlet section and at the exit section here, that goes on decreasing, so that the air is getting pressurized as it flows through each stage of the compressor. So this is the exit section, and from this it gets delivered to the required point. So this is how an axial compressor compresses the air. So the working the incoming air is guided by this stator, and it is guided to the rotor, and the one as it passes through this stator blade, a part of the pressurization is taking place, and the remaining part of the pressurization, the compression or pressurization on the stator flow incoming air as it flows through this stator blades, and it gets compressed partly, and the remaining part of compression is completed in the rotor blade. So this is how the air is compressed in one stage, and as it flows through the successive stages, it is getting more and more compressed, and finally it attains the required pressure, which is set, or which is the defined pressure ratio of the compressor. So this is how an axial compressor operates. And the slide what you see just now is an exploded view of the stator and the rotor. Okay, rotor blades in the rotor blades are actually, you can see they are having aerofoil shapes, and you know why these blades are having aerofoil shapes? In order to reduce the drag, frictional drag. In order to reduce it, they are normally having the aerofoil shape. They are aerofoil shaped blades, and you can see there. ഒരു സെറ്റ് ഓഫ് ബ്ലേഡ്സിനാണ് നമ്മൾ ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇതൊരു റോട്ടറിന്റെ ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ്, ഒരു റോട്ടറിന്റെ ഒരു കോമ്പിനേഷൻ, ഒരു റോട്ടറിന്റെ ഒരു rotor blades in a set, this is stator blades in a set, and this is one stage. You can see similar stages will be fixed in series. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ കോമ്പിനേഷൻസ് ആണ് ഞാൻ ഈ നേരത്തെ ഉള്ള ഡയഗ്രത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ സ്കീമാറ്റിക് ഡയഗ്രത്തിൽ തൊട്ട് മുമ്പ് ഉള്ള സ്കീമാറ്റിക് ഡയഗ്രത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞ കാര്യം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇതാണ് ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇത് ഒരു റോട്ടറിന്റെ ഒരു സെറ്റ്, റോട്ടർ ബ്ലേഡിന്റെ ഒരു സെറ്റ്, ഒരു സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ്. ഈ സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഈ റോട്ടറിനെ കവർ ചെയ്തിട്ട് വരും. ഇത് കേസിംഗ് ആണ്. സ്റ്റാറ്റർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കേസിംഗ് ആണ്. ഇതിന്റെ അകത്ത് കാണുന്നതാണ് റോട്ടർ ബ്ലേഡ്, സ്റ്റേറ്ററിന്റെ ബ്ലേഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇതിന്റെ അകത്ത് ഈ സ്റ്റാറ്റർ എന്ന് കാണിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നതിന്റെ അകത്ത് ഇവിടെ അവിടെ ബ്ലേഡ്സ് കാണാം. സോ ദീസ് ആർ ദ സ്റ്റാറ്റർ ബ്ലേഡ്സ്. So this is the, you see the closed view of a, so this is what the rotor blades. You see these are the rotor blades. ഇതൊരു സ്റ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഈ ഒരു റോട്ടറിന്റെ ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ്. ഇപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് ഒരു റോട്ടർ ഡ്രമ്മിന്റെ മേലെ, ഡ്രമ്മിന്റെ പെരിഫറിയിൽ യു ക്യാൻ സീ എ സീരീസ് ഓഫ് റോട്ടർ ബ്ലേഡ്സ്. ഇതൊരു സെറ്റ്. സോ ദിസ് ഇസ് വൺ സെറ്റ്. So this is one set. So here you can see this is one set. ഒരു സെറ്റ് റോട്ടർ ബ്ലേഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു സെറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയും. അങ്ങനെ you can see a series of sets. The second stage in the rotor blade, this is the third stage comes, fourth stage like that. So this is, you can see a series of rotor blades are fixed on the rotating drum. One. ഒരു ഹൈപ്പർ ലിങ്ക് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു ഇതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത്. അത് ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ആക്ച്വലി വർക്കിംഗ്. Let me try to copy this link. പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ നിങ്ങൾ?
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട് സാർ.
ഹലോ, me. can hear the audio, but in the video, അവിടെ പോയി നാളെ നോക്കും. ഓക്കെ, വേറൊരു വിൻഡോ, ഒരു യൂട്യൂബിന്റെ വിൻഡോ ഷെയർ ചെയ്ത് വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഹലോ ഹലോ.
ആ സാർ കാണാം.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ, ഇവിടാണത്തെ. ഹലോ വിസിബിൾ ആണോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക്?
വിസിബിൾ ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ, സോ ലെറ്റ് മീ, ഇതിൽ കാണിക്കുന്ന നോക്ക്, ഇവിടെ നോക്ക്, ഇതിന്റെ അകത്ത് റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന കാണാം, അതാണ് റോട്ടോഡ്രംസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതിന്റെ പ്രൊഫൈൽ നോക്കുക. ആൻഡ് ബിഫോർ ദാറ്റ്, അതിന്റെ തൊട്ടിപ്പുറത്തായിട്ട് കാണിച്ചത്, നേരത്തെ കാണിച്ചത് so these are the starter blades. See, so these are the starter blades which are not rotating. അപ്പോൾ അത് ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് കേസിംഗ് ആണ്. So this is what the so this one rotor, compressor rotor ആണ്. ഇതാ ഒരു ഡിഫറെന്റ് റോട്ടറിന്റെ സീരീസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. You can see number of rotor blades are connected in series. ഇതാ ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഒരു സ്റ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ്. ഈ സ്റ്റേജ് ഇതും ഒരു സ്റ്റാർട്ടറിന്റെ സെറ്റും വരും. ഈ സ്റ്റാർട്ടർ സെറ്റ് വരും, രണ്ട് റോട്ടർ സെറ്റിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഒരു സ്റ്റാർട്ടർ സെറ്റ് വരും. So this is the rotor of the compressor, and this rotor is covered by this casing. You can see this is the casing. See, are the starter blades. ഈ രണ്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ടറിന്റെ സീരീസ് സെറ്റിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്കാണ് റോട്ടറിന്റെ ബ്ലേഡ് വന്ന് നിൽക്കുക. So that will get rotated, whereas the starter blades, they will directly in air onto the rotor set. This is how the rotor and starter functions in a compressor, in an axial flow air compressor. Okay. So that you, so let us go back to the PT. That's how the rotor and blades are fixed on the rotor and stator in an axial flow compressor. Again, this is the schematic diagram representing the flow, direction of flow through the axial flow compressor. It enter from the suction. It enter the first set of stator blade through the suction port. Then it flows to the successive stages and finally getting discharged out to the discharge port. And throughout it flow through the blades, the direction of flow is parallel to the shaft. That is why it is called as an axial flow compressor. Now this is the velocity diagram. You can draw this velocity diagram. So this is the velocity diagram of for each stage. ഇവിടെ ഓർക്കുക ഒരു axial flow compressor എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് actually it is a multi-stage compressor, and here stage means one set of rotor and stator blade. And for each stage you can consider the velocity diagram. എത്ര സ്റ്റേജ് ഉണ്ടോ? അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ വെലോസിറ്റി ഡയഗ്രാം വെച്ച് ഇക്വേഷൻ എഴുതുന്നത് വർക്കിന്റെ ഇക്വേഷൻ എഴുതുന്നത് that is the work corresponding to one stage of the compressor. So depending on the number of stages, you have to quantify the total work input required for the compressor. എത്ര സ്റ്റേജ് വരുന്നുണ്ടോ അത്ര സ്റ്റേജിന്റെ വർക്ക് ഇൻപുട്ട് നമ്മൾ കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യണം. So let us say let us draw the velocity diagram. So this is the velocity diagram for the axial flow compressor, and you can see the blade speed u. Axial flow compressor in the velocity diagram, velocity diagrams നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്. The difference between the velocity diagram for axial and centrifugal compressor is that here you have the blade tip speed u same at inlet and exit, because both the inlet and exit tip of the blades are at the same radial distance. So u is same here. Centrifugal compressors നമ്മൾ d1 d2 depending on the tip diameter of the inlet and exit, we have u1 u having different values at inlet and exit, but here it is same. So you draw this. When other notations are familiar to you, here this v2, so this is your inlet velocity diagram. So this is the inlet velocity diagram. So this is the inlet velocity diagram, and this is the outlet. So here this is absolute velocity v1. V1 in the two component, vf1 axial component and the world component. So this is the component which is responsible for rotation. vf1 is the flow velocity component which we will use to quantify the flow rate. Then relative velocity component vr1 and blade speed u. Blade speed u you can calculate by using the equation pi dn by 60, where d is drum diameter and n is rotational speed. So this is when angle alpha beta, alpha is the air angle at inlet and beta is the blade angle at inlet, alpha beta. Then corresponding terms at the outlet and outlet triangle, you can see v2. V2 is the absolute velocity here, absolute velocity at the exit. The components vf2 and the vw2 world component. Then vr2 relative velocity component vr2. Then angles theta and phi. Theta is again, theta is the air angle and the phi is the blade angle at outlet of the blade. So you and corresponding to this velocity diagram, we can have these relations. The first one I told, the blade tip speed is same at inlet and exit, that is u1 u2 same as u. Then again there is no involvement of flow velocity component in the rotation or the work equation, so that remains constant. So this component is not consumed, so that vf1 vf2 remain the same. And the vr2 relative velocity at exit is always less than vr1, and this consideration you have taking into account the effect of friction. Due to friction, vr2 will always be less than or equal to vr1. And both velocity component, we assume that both the components are lying on the same plane, so that the computation is easier. So the work input per stage. So this is what I told earlier. We have to consider the total when you calculate the total work. We have to multiply the work per stage by the number of stages. So here this is the work input per stage. One stage means one set of rotor and one set of stator. So the work input per stage is U into VW2 minus VW1, and in terms of this in terms of the stagnation temperature, you can also write Cp into TO2 minus TO1. So this is the work input per stage. And if you have the total mass of air entering the compressor, then it is power required to drive the compressor will be m dot into W. So this multiplied by. So actually this is the work done, work input per stage. So this has to be multiplied by number of stages. And when you multiply it by with the mass flow array, you get the power requirement per stage. So this is the power requirement per stage. Then what is degree of reaction? Already we have seen this term when we discussed the reaction turbines. So what is degree of reaction? Also, I think we have seen it when we discussed the centrifugal compressor also. So degree of reaction is nothing but the ratio between pressure rise in the rotor to the pressure rise in the compressor. The compression is actually partly taking place in the stator and partly taking place in the rotor. So the incoming air is getting first compressed when it flows over the stator blade. Then the remaining compression is happening in the rotor. And that ratio between the pressure rise in the rotor to total pressure rise in the compressor. So that is called as the degree of reaction. And pressure rise in the rotor blade is actually accounted by taking the difference between this VR1 square minus VR1 square by 2 the kinetic energy obtained by with respect to the relative velocity. So VR1 square minus VR2 square by 2. So this is the rotor level of frictional drop. Relative velocity change. So that contributes to the pressure rise in the rotor. So VR1 square minus VR2 square by 2. So this is the pressure rise. And total pressure rise in the component in the compressor means that is the work input per stage. So U into VW2 minus VW2, this is the energy or the pressure energy change not in the compressor. So that is also equal to the work input required for the one stage of the compressor. So this is the relation for degree of reaction. And you can have these relations substituted from the velocity triangle what we have discussed earlier. So VR1 square you can write as VF1 square plus that. So these trigonometric relations you can write from these equations. VR1 square will be equal to. So this is the hypotenuse. If you take this triangle, right angle triangle like this, VR1 square will be equal to VF1 square plus this U minus VW1 square. V this much. So this much is you can write in terms of this tan beta. Tan beta is VF1 by, or this third side of this triangle will be VF1 tan beta. So that is what happens here, VF1 tan beta. So that relations you can make VR1 square and VR2 square you can obtain from those two velocity triangles, and finally have this equation, one equation for degree of reaction, another equation. You can say if we have this the flow velocity component and U values are given and these angles are also known, then you can use this relation to calculate the degree of reaction. So that further you can simplify by assuming the velocity triangle as symmetric. So if you assume that velocity triangles are symmetric, symmetry എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്താണ്? രണ്ട് velocity triangle ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ കാണിച്ചു, inlet and exit. These two are symmetrical means, what does it mean? the angles, corresponding angles are equal. Alpha will be equal to phi and beta will be equal to theta. So if these relations are true, then we can say that the velocity triangles are symmetrical. So beta equal to theta and alpha equal to phi for symmetrical velocity triangles. And if such symmetry is assumed, we have this RD, degree of reaction, as equal to half. That means 50% degree of reaction compressor. RD equal to 1 by 2 means degree of reaction is 50%. Degree of reaction 50% means out of the total pressure rise in the compressor, 50% reaction, 50% pressure rise is happening in the rotor and 50% is happening in the stator. That is what we mean by saying that the degree of reaction is 50%. So 50% reaction compressor, we can have this equation. Simply again, a simplified equation, relation between U and Vf. U by Vf will be equal to tan beta plus tan phi. And for that, we apply this symmetry condition, beta equal to theta and alpha equal to phi, the previous RD equation. The RD equation, RD we will put 1 by 2, and we will put this tan beta, beta equal to theta and phi equal to alpha. If we substitute the symmetry relation, and finally what we have is U by Vf equal to tan beta plus tan phi. And this is true for a 50% reaction. 50%, RD value 1 by 2 ഉള്ള കേസിൽ ഈ റിലേഷൻ എടുത്താൽ നമുക്ക് യുവും ബി എഫും തമ്മിലുള്ള ഇക്വേഷൻ തമ്മിലുള്ള റിലേഷൻ നമുക്ക് in terms of beta and phi. So this is how the degree of reaction is defined. And here you can see some comparison given between centrifugal compressor and axial flow compressor. Axial flow compressor and centrifugal compressor തമ്മിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, the main difference is the direction of flow. Air flows radially in axial flow compressor, in the centrifugal compressor, whereas the flow direction is parallel to the shaft in axial flow compressor. Then other comparison points, you can note down low maintenance and running cost for centrifugal compressor, whereas the maintenance cost and running cost for axial flow compressor is comparatively higher. Then low starting torque requires high starting torque. Then centrifugal compressors are generally single stage. They are not suitable for multi-staging, but axial flow compressors are mostly multi-stage compressors. Then the pressure rise or the pressure ratio that can be attained with centrifugal compressor, they are up to 4 pressure ratio, but still higher pressure ratios are suitable or can be attained with the axial flow compressor. Pressure ratios of 10 are attainable with the axial flow compressor. Then for a given mass flow rate, the larger frontal area, so that makes the centrifugal compressor much bulky compared to the axial flow compressor, whereas the frontal area requirement is very less for axial flow compressors. Then the isentropic efficiency, when we compare it, 80 to 82% for in the case of centrifugal compressor, where it is higher isentropic efficiency for axial flow compressor, 86 to 88%. Then part load performance, better performance at part load in centrifugal compressor. Even the load on the compressor is reduced, it gives better performance, whereas the performance at part load is poor for axial flow compressor. So these are some comparisons that you can list out because between the axial and the centrifugal compressors. Now let us see another efficiency term that is commonly used with the axial flow compressor. It is polytropic efficiency. Polytropic efficiency in already I told it is staged compressor, multi-stage compressor on axial flow compressor. Their stage means a set of rotor and stator blade, that is a combination of stator and rotor blade is called as a stage. So for each stage you can define an efficiency, and that efficiency is known as polytropic efficiency. So the polytropic efficiency means the isentropic efficiency of one stage of a multi-stage compressor. So that is what what we mean by polytropic efficiency, and you can have this relation in the derivation. Actually not mentioned in your syllabus, so that I have not included. So the polytropic efficiency means efficiency of a single stage of a compressor. You can define an isentropic efficiency for the overall performance of the compressor. And here polytropic efficiency means it is isentropic efficiency for a single stage of a compressor. So that you can calculate using this equation. If you know the stagnation condition, PO2, PO1 means stagnation pressure and stagnation pressure at exit and inlet of the compressor. Similarly, PO2, PO1 means stagnation temperature at inlet and exit. Gamma is index of compression. So if you have these values known, we can calculate the isentropic efficiency of a single stage of a compressor. And that is what the polytropic efficiency is meant. Then other performance parameters that normally we mention about with respect to axial flow compressors are flow coefficient. Flow coefficient Vf by U. Vf by U means Vf is flow velocity and U is the blade speed. So this is known as flow coefficient. Then another term is work coefficient. Work coefficient is the ratio of actual work input to kinetic energy corresponding to the blade speed. So the actual work output we can calculate as, how do you calculate actual work? Actual work we can calculate as the Cp into, if you know the temperature difference, Cp into delta T actual. So if you have this Cp into delta T actual, or else you can have this U into Vw2 minus Vw1. So this is also the actual work. So that divided by U square by 2. U square by 2 is it is the kinetic energy associated with this blade speed. U എന്താണ് അതിന് corresponding ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ half V square calculate ചെയ്താൽ half U square by 2 calculate ചെയ്താൽ എത്ര വരുന്നു? So that is the kinetic. So this ratio is known as work coefficient and notation phi h. Then third parameter is pressure coefficient. Pressure coefficient is the ratio between isentropic work and the kinetic energy. So in work coefficient we have taken here actual work, whereas pressure coefficient, when you define pressure coefficient, it is the ratio between isentropic work, Cp into delta T isentropic divided by. So this is delta T means the temperature drop during the isentropic compression. So delta T isentropic by U square by 2. So this is the term what we call as pressure coefficient. So these three parameters are normally we use to define or to analyze the performance of a compressor. Now let us see a few other types of positively displacement compressors. Actually, they are rotary positive displacement compressor. ആദ്യമേ നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തത് ഒരു പോസിറ്റീവ് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ്മെന്റ് കംപ്രസർ ആണ്. ഏതാണ് അത്? റെസിപ്രോക്കേറ്റിംഗ് കംപ്രസർ. ആൻഡ് in that there is the element, we have a cylinder and a piston which the piston which reciprocates. So the type of motion they are considered is reciprocating motion or to and fro motion. And now we will be discussing positive displacement compressor where we have rotary motion. Rotary means rotating. So centrifugal compressor is rotating, but actually centrifugal compressor is not a positive displacement, it is a dynamic compressor. But there are rotary compressors which are classified as positive displacement compressors. So these are the examples: root blowers, then main compressors, screw compressors, flow compressors. Actually, ഇതെല്ലാം തന്നെ ഇതിലെ ഈ പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ റെസിപ്രോക്കേറ്റിംഗ് പോസിറ്റീവ് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ്മെന്റ് പമ്പ്സ് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതായത് കംപ്രസർ നല്ല പമ്പായിട്ട് ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. വെയിൽ പമ്പ്, സ്ക്രൂ പമ്പ്. So you can refer your earlier notes on those topics. So here the root blower is like this. So this is the schematic diagram that represents the construction as well as the working of a roots blower. So roots blower you can see there are two lobes. So these are called lobes. Double shaped rotating elements on a lobe and lobe. So these are two lobes. So normally 2 or 3 lobes will be fixed. The blower will be having 2 or 3. So the diagram what you see now is having only 2 lobes. So you can see these are the 2 rotating elements. These are known as lobes, and one of the lobe will be powered and other will be rotated by the first one. So this is power, and the second lobe will be made to rotate by the first one. So powered one will make the rotation of the other one. So that is how it works. And these two lobes are enclosed in a casing, and you can see the one port through which the air enter here, and the mode of operation exactly the same way how it works in a in a positive displacement pump. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ എന്താ പോസിറ്റീവ് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ്മെന്റ് പമ്പിൽ എന്താണ് there is no dynamic action on the fluid. That means the pumping element, whether it is a piston or a gear, നമ്മൾ ഗിയർ പമ്പ് പഠിച്ചതാണ്. ഗിയർ പമ്പിൽ എന്താണ് രണ്ട് mating gears are there. So when they rotate, they trap the fluid between the teeth and the casing, and as they rotate, as these gears rotate, this trapped fluid will be pushed forward. അപ്പോൾ അത് ഏത് ഡയറക്ഷനിലാണോ റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആ ഡയറക്ഷനിൽ ആ ട്രാപ്പ് ചെയ്ത ഫ്ലൂയിഡിനെ പുഷ് ചെയ്ത് it will be moved from the suction point to the delivery point. This is how the pumping was done with a gear pump or a reciprocating pump. So the same way here also you can explain the operation. So the first diagram, you can see two lobes, and you can see here the first diagram, you can see that these two lobes are normal to each other. And in the initial starting, I have shown this as two lobes with mutually perpendicular, you can see. And you can, the second diagram, you can see that the inlet port is getting opened and air enter the spacing. ഈ രണ്ട് ലോബും കേസിംഗിന് ഇടയ്ക്കുള്ള സ്പേസിലോട്ട് എയർ എൻ്റർ ചെയ്ത് ഫില്ല് ചെയ്യും, ഇവിടെ ഫിൽഡ് ആവും. And you can see what happens after that. The lobes are getting rotated, and you can see the third figure on the top. You can see they are, each lobes get rotated. So as they rotate, it's getting എവിടെയൊക്കെ vacant space ഉണ്ടോ അവിടെയൊക്കെ എയർ കയറി filled ആയിട്ടുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. And you can see the fourth figure on the, that means the first figure on the bottom side, you can see that the left lobe vertical eye, right horizontal eye. That means you have this air. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് മുമ്പ് വരെയുള്ള ഈ എയർ ഇത് റൊട്ടേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതനുസരിച്ച് ഈ എയറിനെ പുഷ് ചെയ്ത് ഈ വാക്കന്റ് സ്പേസിൽ വരുന്ന എവിടെയാണോ അവിടെ കൊണ്ട് പുഷ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് അത്രയും പോർഷനിലോട്ട് ഇത് പുഷ്ഡ് ആയിട്ട് ഇവിടെ ട്രാപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് നിൽക്കുകയാണ് എയർ. സോ നൗ ദ എയർ ഈസ് ഗെറ്റിംഗ്, you can see that the fourth figure, the air is trapped here between the rotor, left side rotor and the casing, and as the rotation continues, you can see that this air is getting pushed. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് പുഷ് ചെയ്ത് അഞ്ചാമത്തെ ഫിഗർ എത്തുമ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ നമുക്ക് ഇവിടെ ഡിസ്ചാർജ് പോർട്ട് ഓപ്പൺ ആവും. ഡിസ്ചാർജ് പോർട്ട് ഓപ്പൺ ആകുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ അവിടെ വേറൊരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്. ഡിസ്ചാർജ് പോർട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഹയർ പ്രഷർ സൈഡിലാണ്, സക്ഷൻ പോർട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ലോവർ പ്രഷർ സൈഡിലാണ്. So already you have compressed air in the discharge side. So what happens once the discharge port is getting opened, what you can observe is that the air from the discharge line that is getting flows in the backward direction. അതായത് ഡിസ്ചാർജ് പോർട്ട് ഓപ്പൺ ആകുമ്പോൾ ആ ഡിസ്ചാർജ് ലൈനിലുള്ള ഹൈ പ്രഷർ എയർ ബാക്ക് ഫ്ലോ വരും. That means you have a pushing of air towards the discharge side, discharge port by this water. At the same time, there is a backflow here from the discharge line because the pressure at the discharge side is at a higher level. So that means there is a backflow of air into this casing, and you can see that the high pressure air that will then push the air to the delivery side. That is what happens in the final diagram. We discharge port in the discharge port open ആകുമ്പോൾ അതിൽ നിന്ന് ബാക്ക് ഫ്ലോ വരുന്ന എയർ ഹൈ പ്രഷർ ആയിരിക്കും. ആ ഹൈ പ്രഷർ എയർ പിന്നെ പ്രഷർ എയർ ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് പുഷ് ചെയ്ത എയറിനെയും കൂടി തിരിച്ചത് ഹയർ പ്രഷർ ഡിസ്ചാർജ് ലൈനിലോട്ട് തിരിച്ച് പ്രഷറൈസ് കംപ്രസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത് ഡിസ്ചാർജ് ലൈനിലോട്ടത് delivery. That is how the route getting worked. And
ഇനിയില്ല തോന്നുന്നു, ഇറങ്ങിക്കോ.